What is up, woke family? It's your boy Woke Bucks, and I'm back again with another live stream. So, topic of this video today is going to be in regards to why the grandpa, aka the older man, did not want the cross-dressing men to touch him. So, what we're basically going to do first is we're going to go through the video, and then from there, I'm going to give you my reactions to it. You feel what I'm saying? Let's get into it, man. Hold on.
Just do it.
So why don't we just pair up?
I'm not into touching, okay? I'm not. Let me put that out front. I'm no touching, no touching. No touching. I won't touch you.
Can acknowledge us. Ooh, who is this? Cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't do this. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm a man of God. I can't do this. Oh, no. Yeah, I love those people. I pray for them. I would never do anything to hurt them or condemn them. But men are not supposed to dress like women. I'm not going to go along with that.
All right. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts and my opinions on what the older man just said. You feel what I'm saying? The one thing that we have to understand is that we live in a society now that's conditioned upon modernism. Let me repeat that again. We live in a society now that's conditioned upon modernism, which basically means the old traditional way of men acting like men has been completely wiped away, right? They don't want men to act like men. They want men to act like women now. They basically want men to dress up as women, right? There's so many examples that I have as videos on this page. Like, for instance, one of my favorite basketball players of all time, Russell Westbrook, wearing a dress, right? There's a difference between certain cultures wearing skirts, like, for instance, like the Scottish culture that wear kilts. That's part of their culture. But when you as a man start to dress like a woman, right, it's going to cause you to be seen as bad in society. It's going to cause people to view you in a different light. And if you're the type of person who doesn't really care about how people view you, that's completely good and well. But I think that it's important for men to understand that it's good for them to be masculine, and it's also important. So it's important, but it's also good. So when you as a man start dressing up as a woman, you have to understand you're lowering your value. You're being perceived as less masculine. You're being perceived as not fully being a man. Why? Because you're not acting like a man. You're not acting in your masculine. You're acting as a feminine woman, right? But God created you to be a man. That's what the grandpa's trying to get at in this video, right? So in this video, you have a bunch of men that are dressed up as women. So the thing is that those men, from the minute they were born, did not fully see their value as men, right? Whether it's from people that bullied them in school and said that they were too fat, they probably lost weight, they were too skinny, right? Instead of using that as motivation to be able to elevate yourself, you ended up caving into what society wanted you to do. Society wanted you to be weak. Society wanted you to move towards being the weaker gender. Society wanted you to not fully assume your masculine frame. You think here in America, they don't want men to be women? They want men to act weak. That's what women are supposed to do. Women are the weaker gender. Therefore, they're going to act weaker. So when you tell a man through societal images, like you being a simp, right? You not having value in yourself, you pursuing a woman, you not valuing yourself when it comes to the way you look, your physique, right? This is what happens. That's the truth. This is what it turns into. So you as a man have to really start to learn how to value yourself, how to assume that masculine essence, trust in God. You improve in every aspect of your life. And situations like this won't happen, right? It's all of the insecurities that have come in from society that has caused one to want to dress up like a woman, 100%. And I'm not trying to throw shade to that community at all. By no means am I trying to throw shade. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm being completely honest when I say that you're going against what God wants for humanity. God created a man to be with a woman and a woman to be with a man. That is the honest truth, no matter how it seems. Because the thing is that we live in a society now when you try to promote other agendas when it comes to religion, right? Or when it comes to politics, you're shunned. You're told don't do that. But when it comes to promoting their community, they don't have a problem with that. They're promoting it in everything that you literally see right now, whether it's Superman, whether it like the Marvel characters and stuff, in schools and everything. But you're a bad person if you want to promote politics. You're a bad person if you want to promote religion. All of these things are meant to divide human beings against each other. So you have to be woke enough to be able to see it for what it truly is. But they don't want you to be woke in 2022. They want you to be asleep, right? If you go back and you read in the Bible, there were certain towns that were wiped away and destroyed because of acts like this. And it's not only specifically men dressing up as women, it's just participating in those types of activity. Therefore, God didn't want that, right? But at the same time as well, two humans are obviously going to cave into their nature and that are going to start moving towards their demonic senses. That's why one has to really do work to be able to self-improve and make themselves to become better people. But when you cave into certain things like this is why things like this happen. That's the honest truth. But you know what the crazy part is? We live in a society now where what the man said, basically saying he doesn't want to have any part of it, he's going to be shamed for what he said. He's going to be told he's wrong for thinking like that, right? Because he thinks traditionally, right? You'll see a weak man in 2022 settle for dealing with a man like this that dresses up like a woman, and he'll think that that's a woman, or he'll try to convince himself in his mind that that's a woman, but in reality, that's a man. Why should you as a man feel comfortable caressing and feeling up on another man? Ask yourself that question. Be real with yourself. Unless some people are going to say, oh yeah, he's probably attracted to men. That's not the way that the Most High wants it. 100%. So one has to really be careful of their actions. One has to be careful of their influences. You have to train yourself to be stronger. In America and in the world in general, they want you as a man to be weak. So when you start participating in weak activities, they're going to judge you even more. But even though that's the agenda that they want to promote, they're going to judge you even more. So you need to learn how to stand up on all fours as a man. Embrace your masculinity and keep pushing. Keep becoming the person the Most High has called you to become. Don't fall victim to the nonsense that's out there because it's meant to distract you. It's meant to keep you at a lower state of elevation, of consciousness. You got to trust in God. You got to keep putting in the work. They don't want you to be woke in this matrix. That's why I speak the truth, right? That's why I speak the truth. They don't want you to be woke. The grandpa had a valid point in what he was saying, but you know how many people are going to try to shame him? You know how many people are going to try to tell him what he's saying is wrong? He's not wrong for what he said, right? He's not wrong for what he said at all. That's the fact. But the reality remains that he's going to continue to get shamed. But you know what? You have to ignore all of those things. Because if the reality of the situation is that those who know what they're doing is right are going to know. You're not even going to have to question it. Because you know deep down inside of your heart, what you're doing is what God called you to do. But if you don't do what God called you to do, you're going to always start to question what you're doing when you shouldn't have to do that. That's the reality of the situation, man. We got to stop allowing everything that society is telling us to do to affect us in our heart. Start thinking. They don't want you to be woke in the society, especially as a man. Start using your brain and start thinking. Damn, if I do this, what's going to happen for what I do? What are the consequences? If I start acting like a woman, even if I do like women to get more attention, what is going to happen? Women are going to look at you and think, damn, that dude's a bitch. That dude is weak. That's the truth. That's the truth. What is going to happen if I start doing these things? And I'm not saying do it for society. Do it for yourself, but at the same time as well, to understand that with whatever you do in this life, there are always going to be consequences, whether it's positive or negative. Live your life as good as you possibly can live your life. Ignore all the haters, yes, but don't do things that you know are not what God wants you to do. If God doesn't want you doing those things, you're going to know. Therefore, don't do it. We as woke ones, we understand that. We stand by that, regardless of the situation. Because we understand that at the end of the day, we have a purpose to fulfill coming onto this earth. Therefore, we're not going to try to stray away from it. But we live in such a crazy world right now, such a messed up world, where people do whatever they want and they think that there's not going to be any consequences, bro. You have to understand one thing at the end of the day. You see this physical body that we're living in right now? This is only for a temporary part of time. It's not forever. You're going to eventually end up passing on to the next life, the next world. And now it's your spirit. Now it's you and God almost in synchrony. Why? Because God is obviously the all-knowing, and he's also a high spirit. So you're going to be able to see God in the spiritual realm. Unless you see him in the spiritual realm in your physical body now, which you can. But the thing is that a lot of people are not at that level of consciousness to be able to see God spiritually. So when you are obviously onto the next level and you can see God spiritually, He's going to ask you, why did you disobey my commandments? Why did you go against what I taught you to do? What are you going to answer Him? That's the question people have to start asking themselves. Because a lot of people try to make it seem like they're not aware of what they're doing, but they're aware. You're aware. You have the ability to become woke. You have the ability to be woke right now. What are you doing to separate yourself from the pack? Because a lot of people are going to end up, you know what I'm talking about, or they're going to end up in purgatory for a long time, having to purge themselves of all the sins they committed in this world. What are you doing to separate yourself from that? Are you living a good life? Are you improving spiritually in your connection with God? Are you improving with your mentality? Are you improving in the way you think through situations, your emotions, improving your finances? What are you doing to separate yourself? Or are you going to engage in the nonsense that we just saw? You have to ask yourself the truth, and you stand by the truth regardless of the situation. If you're woke, it's because you understand. If you're not woke, you obviously don't understand. This is going to be in this live stream. If you like this live stream, make sure you go spam that like button, leave comments, share this live stream with your friends, subscribe to the channel at WokeEbucks, WOKEEBUKS, and tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below and some social media links. So make sure you will give those a check. But without further ado, this is going to be in this live stream. This is WokeEbucks, and I'm out, man.